So we are talking about the another type of animal tissue, that is the connective tissue. Connective tissue, that we have already discussed about the introduction, that is a type of tissue which will help in joining or combining or binding the different tissues of the body. Then we are saying that we have divided the connective tissue into three major types, in which firstly we were saying that we are talking about the loose connective tissue. Loose connective tissue, as the name itself suggests, the matrix that it will contain is comparatively loosely packed, and thus and on the basis of that matrix we are studying the different types of the connective tissue in the category that is the loose connective tissue. So the first type of tissue that we are seeing here is known as the areolar tissue, also commonly known as a loose connective tissue, which forms the major part of the body, that is, it is widely distributed part in the human body. Then we are saying that it plays a very important role in packaging. As a packaging tissue, it is very well known, and it helps in packing the different parts of the body. Either it is to connect the skin with the muscles or to fill the spaces in the organ. So ultimately it is widely distributed in the whole body. When we talk about the matrix of this tissue, we are saying that it consists of transparent jelly-like fluid matrix, which will ultimately help in fixing or packaging the body parts. So here we are saying that it contains two types of fibers as well in this matrix. The first type of fiber is known as the white collagen fiber, and the other is known as the yellow elastic fiber. The name itself suggests that the white collagen fiber will contain collagen as a protein, whereas when we talk about the yellow elastic fiber, we are saying that it will contain the protein that is known as elastin. White collagen fiber is comparatively inelastic as compared to the one that is the elastin protein, which will provide elasticity to the body parts. So these two types of fibers are present in the areolar connective tissue, which will ultimately be present in the whole variety of the body parts, or will be widely distributed in the body. When we talk about the functions of the areolar tissue, we are simply saying that since it is highly distributed in the animal body, it will help in fixing the skin with the muscles, thus connecting the skin with the muscles underlying it. Then we are saying that it will fill the spaces inside the organs as well, thus giving a particular structure as well as protecting the organs. Then we are saying ultimately known as the packaging tissue of the body. When we see the structure of this areolar tissue as we have drawn here, we are simply saying that it consists of large number of fibers in its matrix. And the large number of fibers you can see here in the form of lines that are being drawn. Apart from this, it also contains variety of different cells that perform their different functions in the body. So as you can see here, we have drawn two types of fibers initially. One is the yellow in color, that is known as the yellow fibers, containing elastin proteins and ultimately providing elasticity to the body parts. The other type is the white collagen fibers. These are the white collagen fibers which are distributed, which are comparatively containing collagen protein and inelastic in nature, thus giving a rigid and a firm structure to the body. Apart from this, as you can see here, it contains the matrix, and in that matrix, in that transparent jelly-like fluid material, it contains variety of different cells. And these variety of different cells, as you can see here, are macrophages, fibroblast cells and mast cells, which will ultimately perform their specific functions in the body. So this was about the first type of the loose connective tissue, that is known as the areolar tissue. So now we'll talk about the another type of the loose connective tissue, that is the adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is mainly known for storing the fat in the body, and because of that, the matrix of this adipose tissue contains specific cells that are known as adipocytes, which have a large vacuole so that they can store large amount of fat in it. And because of that, the nucleus is being shifted to the corner because they are containing specific vacuoles which are storing fat in them. So here we are saying that it is also known as a fat storing tissue, which contains a matrix that contains specific cells which are large, oval or spherical, and these are known as adipocytes. Then we are saying that the presence or the occurrence of this tissue, so we say that it is present in the subcutaneous layer of the skin, around the heart, or we can also call it that around the brain. So it is present in the subcutaneous layer below the skin, thus storing fat in the body. And at last we are saying that the fat that is being stored in the body, it acts as an insulator, thus preventing the heat loss from the body. Thus these are the important functions as well as the structure that we have talked about the adipose tissue. Now as you can see here, the diagram that we have drawn here, in which we are saying that it is characterized by specific cells, and these are known as adipocytes, which are present in the matrix. So it is similar to the areolar connective tissue, which contains some specification, and these specifications are these fat cells. These fat cells, as you can see here, are containing a large sized vacuole, so that it can contain specific fat can be stored in it. Then we are saying that the nucleus is shifted to the corner, we are having the cytoplasm in the cells, and these are basically the fat droplets. The specific structure storing the fat, that will be ultimately the fat droplets. And ultimately we are also saying that it contains all the different types of cells, just like the areolar tissue. That is, it will contain the mast cell, it will contain the macrophages, it will also contain two types of fibers that we have studied, in which one we were saying about the collagen and other was the elastin. So thus we can say that it is containing the different types of connective tissue fibers that are present. And the ultimatum or the main motive is to store fat in the form of the fat droplets, and hence they will be characterized with this type, and it will be known as the adipose connective tissue. So now we'll discuss about the dense regular connective tissue. Till now we were talking about the loose connective tissue, in which we were saying that the fibers, whether it was the white collagen or yellow elastin fibers, they were being irregularly arranged, or they were being spread out in the matrix, that is loosely arranged. When we talk about the dense connective tissue, we are seeing here the fibers, whether it is the collagen or the elastin, they are properly, densely and tightly packed around with each other. Thus they provide strength, and along with that they also provide elasticity to the body parts. So here we'll talk about two types of the dense regular connective tissue. One is known as the tendon and other is known as the ligament. Tendon, that part of the connective tissue which will help in joining the skeletal muscles with the bones, that thus helping in the movement. The tendons, when we see the structure of this, we are saying that it contains a cord or a particular bundle of the inelastic fibers, that is the white collagen fibers, which are elongated, and these contains these elongated collagen fibers tightly or bounded with each other. Then it also contains some specific arrangement, that is the elongated fibroblast. So as you can see here, these cells, these are known as the fibroblasts, which are elongated and tightly packed between the collagen fibers in the rows. Then we are saying that the main function of tendon, it helps in connecting the skeletal muscles with the bones of the body. So this was about the tendon. Now the other type that we'll study here is known as the ligament. Ligament, a structure that will help in joining both the bones. So here we are simply saying that it is made up of yellow elastic fibers containing the cords or the bundle of the yellow elastic fibers, and which contain fibroblasts in scattered manner. Here we were saying that in tendons, the fibroblasts, these are tightly packed and arranged in rows, but here the fibroblast cells, they will be scattered in that particular tissue. Then we are saying that because of this white elastin property, it will also provide flexibility along with the strength. And apart from this, a simple function that it helps in connecting one bone to the another bone. So a part that will help in joining muscle to the bone, that will be known as a tendon, and the part that will help in joining bone to bone, that will be known as a ligament. Now we'll talk about the skeletal connective tissue. Skeletal connective tissue, it will simply include the bones and the cartilage in the body, which will help in the movement of the body as well as connecting the different parts of the body. So ultimately we are saying the important function of the movement and locomotion is done with the help of a hard material that is present in the body, and that is known as the cartilage as well as bone. So the first type of skeletal tissue that we are studying here is known as the cartilage. Cartilage, in which we are saying that it has a property that it is hard in nature, but as well as it is flexible in nature. So it is hard because it is comparatively we can say less harder when we talk about the bone. But yes, we are saying that the matrix is comparatively hard, and it is also flexible, which will help in little bit movement of the body parts. Then we are saying that the cartilage, it contains specific cells which are known as chondroblasts. And these chondroblasts, they will be surrounded with the matrix nearby it, and it will form a specific cell that is known as chondrocytes. So initially we are saying that the cartilage cells, these are chondroblasts. They will be surrounded with some fluid-filled matrix or fluid-filled material that will be known as the lacuna, and these lacuna surrounded chondroblasts will ultimately be known as the chondrocytes. When we talk about the surface of it, we are saying that the outermost layer or the surface is known as the perichondrium in the cartilage. When we talk about the occurrence of it, we are generally saying that the cartilage, it is found in very less part of the human body. And when we talk about the different parts in which it is being found, so initially we are saying that it is found in the ends of the long bones, so that at the time of the movement there should be no any kind of friction between them. So the cartilage, it is present at the ends of the long bones. Then we are saying that in the ear pinna, that is the external ear, that is also foldable, flexible, but comparatively hard. So it is also found in the ear pinna. It is found in the respiratory ducts, we are saying, and ultimately it is also present at the end of the nose. When we talk about fishes, like we are talking about sharks or we are talking about rays, we are simply saying that the whole skeleton of the shark is made up of cartilage, thus playing a very important role in designing the complete body part or the skeleton of the sharks. So when we talk about the functions of it, a simple function, that is, it is providing flexibility to the plant body, and ultimately we are saying it also absorbs the stress or a sudden jerk that is being experienced by the human body. When we talk about the structure of it, or when we try to see the chondroblasts and chondrocytes, we can see here in which we are saying that in the cartilage cross section, we are simply saying that we are having a perichondrium layer, and inside that we are having cells which are known as chondroblasts. And these chondroblasts, inside it, these are finally surrounded with a lacuna, fluid filled spaces, and ultimately this complete structure will be known as the chondrocyte. So inside it we are having chondroblasts surrounded by fluid filled material, and ultimately that is known as lacuna. So we are saying chondroblasts are packed inside the lacuna, fluid filled spaces, and ultimately the cell that will be formed is known as the chondriocyte. And this is the whole matrix in which these cells are being found. So this was all about a brief introduction of the cartilage. Now we'll talk about the different types of cartilage.